Today we're going to be making a fun scarf, just like the lovely lady pictured on the lower left of this fashion collage. And it's going to be from the sleeve of a long sleeve shirt that I no longer need. I bought it thrifted. So it was actually fun because this was the same kind of fabric I already had from another project. It was just calling to me. But before you get started with this project, you're going to want to make sure that you're familiar with your sewing machine's features. I love my very basic Janome Sewist machine, but make sure you know how to thread it properly. There's videos for each type of machine out there, and if you're running into the same problem over and over, it could be tension or that the bobbin's not threaded properly. But hang in there, you will get there. And let's get started. Okay, so I went ahead and measured my neck using the tape measure and figured out how long I'd like the scarf to be. And it was a total of 28 inches. So it worked out really perfectly with this long sleeve shirt that was cut off at the shoulder here. So that means 14 inches for each side of the strap. And I turned the sleeve inside out, which you can tell because this is a patterned piece of fabric. So the shiny side is the right side that we want to show, and therefore I can mark up the inside or the wrong side of the fabric as much as I want. To figure out how wide I wanted my scarf to be, I actually took a bar of soap and laid it out. You're going to lose a little bit of the width of your scarf just in the process of cutting and sewing. So make it a little wider than what you'd like your finished project to look like. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out in this rectangular shape for now, and then I'll show you how to give it a point. Okay, so now I've folded over the piece of fabric, so it's actually, since it's been cut, it's two pieces of fabric. I've folded over, the wrong sides are still showing, and then I just drew a line from the very corner of the fabric down at a gentle kind of slope there. And by the way, I also made myself a really quick bracelet out of the cuff of the shirt, which you can't see very well. But just to show that one piece of clothing can have many lives, I made another shirt out of this shirt already, and then this scarf and a bracelet, and I might even do something else with the scraps. Anyway, I'm going to cut this line and go over to the sewing machine. Okay, so not so fast. I did realize as I was pinning my fabric together that actually I had misjudged the amount of fabric I was working with. So this scarf will be a little thinner. If you want to avoid that mistake, make yours doubly wide when you're cutting, but it's kind of fun to learn from your mistakes as you go. And as you can see here, I have if you can hopefully see, I have the points of each pin facing the raw edge. That's helpful as you're sewing at the machine, that you can pull them right out as you're sewing, and even if you stitch over the pin, it's not going to hopefully break the needle of your sewing machine. Now, with your iron, you're just pressing on the folded edge of each piece of fabric. So it's not really like when you're ironing a piece of clothing. This is more just pressing down and moving the iron as you go. Okay, so now we're ready to sew. All right, so I'm going to put the pointed end under the presser foot and go in just about a 1/4 inch, lower my needle. I'm on a straight stitch currently. Make sure the wheel's turned in. Do a back stitch. Make sure you get that point. It's kind of hard to see, but take your time. And then I'm keeping very close to the edge as I sew, making sure that the edges meet up. We're going to be turning this inside out at the end. And you can remove the pins as you sew, but a lot of times I wait until I'm done. Back stitch again. And check everything out. Looks pretty good, but I can see that the point needs some work. So we'll go back over that. Alright, and then the same thing on the other side. So now we're going to turn everything inside out so that that nice shiny right side of the fabric is showing. To do this, I'm going to stick my finger inside of the tube that I've just created and start pulling through. So it can be a really lengthy process if you have a long tube of fabric. But you just keep working it. And this is a good reason not to make it too narrow. The piece that we have here is just about as small as you want to get, because as you can see, my finger is just able to make it through. They also sell tools that will do this for you. Okay, you can stop it.
You are rolling.
So as you can see, we've turned the scarf inside out and actually inserted a pencil into the tube to get to the pointy end. Now I have the seam of each piece of scarf on the outside, so I'm putting the right sides together, which is a common thing in sewing, and I'm just going to sew this. And there you have it. You have your own lovely homemade scarf that you did all by yourself, and you can make many more from here on out in different shapes, different sizes, but you've got the basics down, so give yourself a pat on the back. Until next time.